it's premature, but I'm eliminating Yoshinobu, Kanemaru, and Dan Maloney, along with Bushi, who only has a 1-5 record.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that?
I'm going to go with sure, because we know how great I am at math.
Oh, you're a genius.
Right.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to NJPW-World Review. I am your co-host, Andre, and right over here, and don't take offense to this one, the taco sex taker herself, Melball.
Oh, sweet mercy. Oh, well, Osprey, what have you done?
I only do it because of this. This is a man that gave us this. That's the only reason I say that.
As I mentioned before we went on air here, Will Ospreay, the only person who can get away in America with calling an entire room full of people sex pigs.
Yeah, I think that was the greatest thing to come out of Resurgence was the sex pig line. I found that insanely hilarious. But the biggest thing for me to come out of Resurgence is this cowl right behind my head. Because when I went to Mel's place on Sunday to watch Resurgence, which we are not talking about here, sorry to say, we were talking about Best of Super Juniors. She gave me this.
Yay!
And it's her birthday coming up, not mine. So it's weird.
Tomato.
Yeah, but I thank you, Melball, for giving me the United Empire towel. I very, very, very much appreciate it. Had to hang it up for the first show with it. Had to. It will change over time. Sometimes it'll be hanging. Sometimes it'll be the shirts. I'm gonna change it up.
Excellent. Just make sure you wear it as a little babushka at some point.
What? Oh, what?
Well, babushka, isn't that what thing? A little headscarf thing?
Oh,
no, babushka is the person. Sorry.
Okay, I thought that was like a grandmother or something.
Yeah, a Russian thing or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, Russian grandmas, you know? Just So we are here to talk Best of the Super Juniors, nights 5 and 6. But before we get into that, I want to thank all of you so very, very much for all the great support you have been giving us, all the great comments that we've been getting, and we love getting those, liking and subscribing to the channel, helping us build. Very much appreciate it. If you could please share us out, we'd really appreciate it. And please share out Backbreaker Video, also our great partners in everything we do here. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the great support. So thank you so very much. And thank you to Melball for all the hard work that she does doing editing and getting everything set up for this show. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, sir.
But we are going to get into it. We're going to talk some Best of the Super Juniors nights 5 and 6. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We kick it off. It's the Gooch, Ryusuke Taguchi taking on Hiromu Takahashi. Tanahashi getting the book on this show. Like he got the book, get to hold the book for this one. Was Hiromu's book, yeah. Great little speed start to this match. Like culminating with a beautiful tope con hilo by the Gooch to Hiromu on the floor, and then gets that springboard hip attack inside the ring. This is really a Taguchi dominant match. Like he looked like he was absolutely on fire. He got an ankle lock into a blue thunder bomb, follows with a frog splash for 2, transitions back into the ankle lock, and then gets a tiger suplex, transition from the ankle lock into a tiger suplex. Absolutely insane. Out of nowhere, reverses the Dodon, gets rolled up, and then he rolls through, gets Gucci in a pin, and gets the win. Like, I literally wrote down, Hiromu had virtually 0 offense and snuck out a win at the end.
Ain't that how it goes with that sneaky little Hiromu? I feel really bad for Taguchi in this one because, as you said, he wrestled a tremendous match. He put everything he had. Like, we've been watching Big Show Taguchi in the Best of the Super Juniors here, and it just isn't quite enough. And I feel so bad for him. I mean, at this point, he's eliminated, isn't he? At this point,
by on the 5th night, 0-5 already takes him out long. Like he is 0-4, I think, was taking him out of out of his numbers, but officially eliminated here tonight. But
Yeah, very, very sad for him. Because he, like I said, he put so much into this match to come up short. It just was not a good tournament for Taguchi here. And like Hiromu, I mean, that surprise pin was just like, I looked away for 2 seconds. I was like, what the hell just happened?
it came out of nowhere.
I really did.
Yeah. So I really a fun opener to start and really getting to see Taguchi. Taguchi really put on his working boots tonight.
100%.
But we move on to Bushi. Bushi. Versus one half the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, Kevin Knight. Knight with that shotgun dropkick into the corner to start it off. Dang, coming out like a house on fire. But Bushi, that suicide dive, man, it's like a freaking torpedo. Just what he does it's just like it's pure reckless abandon how he says suicide dive.
So much so.
Yeah.
So much so. One Bushi in the crowd.
One Bushi.
I really felt that this match was definitely like a big power flex for Kevin Knight. He really, really put Bushi through the ringer. I was really sad. You don't want to see one of your favorites kind of going down, but like Bushi up until this point, he's not having a good tournament either. But he's still performing at such an amazing level. It's hard to say he can't be in the tournament next year or something like that.
Nah, I think he'll always have a spot. Because again, guys like him and Taguchi, there's always going to be the need for guys that take the falls, that do need to go 0-9 or 1-8 or 2-7. There's always a need for those guys, and I think Bushi and Taguchi, as long as they're wrestling, will always have a spot just for that reason, just to be the fall guys.
That being said, I still want to see Bushi and Titan hold the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships just one more time.
Yeah, Bushi couldn't win though. That's the thing. Bushi couldn't beat the champ. But in the end,
maybe the other one.
Yeah, there's a really good spot where Bushi went for the MX, but Knight just held on to him and then lifted him up into that sky high spine buster. I love the transition there of him catching the MX and just bang, it just looks so good. Ending though, Spike Rana off the top by Knight, and Bushi came down on his head. It looked rough as well. And then hit the pendulum spike DDT, and Knight picks up the big win.
He did indeed.
Again, a good little win. Knight needs it because he can't be just taking a bunch. He's a champion. He can't be just taking a bunch of pins in this tournament. Yeah, he needs to be in the mix-ish. Doesn't need to be in the mix, but he can't be a loser in this tournament.
It is very interesting, the people that he is taking the wins and losses to. Some of them I wouldn't necessarily suspect. So it's been a very fun tournament for him, for sure.
We move on to a very confusing match for me. TJP versus Show, because Evil's a douche. He comes out wearing a United Empire towel. Right there. All I wrote was, take that off, you goddamn scum sucker. You don't deserve to wear those colors. That's what I wrote when I saw it.
Tranquilo, Andre, tranquilo.
Now with Evil. Yeah, this was interesting because Evil is in TJP's corner for the first part of this match. It was really weird, but he ends up choking TJP with the towel, but Show can't get a win off that. Show stepping on the neck of TJP, poking the eyes. Show tries to mock the boot wash spot, and I was just like, ooh. If he gets Rona'd, the TJP gets his own boot wash to him. I don't know. There's a lot of just random crap in this, like TJP getting junked on the top by Evil. Show gets a superplex off that and the crossarm driver. TJP getting beautiful flip out of the shock arrow into that beautiful jumping spin kick, and then the final cut. The ref gets knocked down, but TJP and Sho both they're like threatening each other with wrenches because somehow TJP knew to bring a wrench with him because he knows there's gonna be a wrench involved.
Yeah, somehow he knew that would be a weapon of choice.
Yeah, somehow he knew. And then Sho just goes down to the mat and does the Eddie spot trying to get the DQ. But the ref's just like, what the fuck's going on? And then so Evil gets up in the corner. TJP blocks up on the corner to distract the ref. TJP blocks the low blow by Sho. Hits a tornado DDT, stepping off the face of Evil, knocking him off the apron, which was great.
Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
No, it hits the Mambo Splash, picks up the win. TJP continuing to be relevant in this block.
Starting to regret not picking TJP over Francesco Akira.
Yeah, and I picked Sho, so that I did a lot of smart shit.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was a little aggravating for me. I really didn't like the interference happening as much as it did. TJP, he's just a freaking champ in that ring, though. He freaking did everything possible to make it fun and interesting because the shenanigans can be very, very it drags. It drags and it drags. It makes it very not fun to watch. TJP, I think, worked really well with Sho and Evil in this to make it a little bit more interesting. But man, I really hate House of Torture.
Me too. They're just
so annoying.
It's getting annoying at this point. I don't know. I'm just it's always going to be there. We're going to have to deal with it in the tag team title match coming up at Dominion because Yui's out as official for Resurgence. And I'm scared that they're going to get the belts and then they're going to face FTR Forbidden Door, and it just makes me so unhappy.
Same.
We move on. Francesco Akira, Clark Connors with that just huge, he's just using his power in the beginning, just really taking it to Akira, takes Akira to the floor, runs him into the post, runs him into the chairs and the crowd. I love Kevin Kelly. Connor's doing a very Buddy Landel style elbow drop. I just love the callback to Buddy Landel.
Most long-winded thing ever.
Yeah, I just love that he pulls those little weird little calls. I gotta give it prop that wheelbarrow roll that Akira does into the double stomp.
So good.
So smooth. So smooth. Connors catches a snap power slam off the fireball attempt and just spins and just crashes him really good. And then he hits a huge spear, hits no chaser, and Connors gets the win.
Yeah. Why though?
Yeah, I was not expecting that actually.
No, but realistically though, I mean, Akira is a tremendous athlete and he's arguably, a little bit more of a he put on some size. So he's trying to be a bit more of a power guy, but Clark Connors is all power. All raw power. And Akira did do his best. He really did. Very, very quick. He tripped Connors on that one thing where they jump down and try to trip you and it never works. Everyone's just he actually caught Connor with that one. So that was actually really cool to see. And to hear Kevin on commentary freak out about it was adorable.
And that never happens. That never happens. It's just
it's true. I've got to point out with Connors, there's something interesting that's happening with him. He's doing the intimidation thing to the crowd, which is something I love. I love the interaction with the crowd, but it's always the women. I'm trying to understand what's happening there. It's very odd. Maybe don't do that in America. You might not find that'll work well.
Clark Connors hates women, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't know.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. That wheelbarrow suplex he did, though, on Akira there was so good. So nasty looking. The spear at the end there was just as soon as he hit that, I was like, fudge. He's not winning this one. And I was right. Fun little match, though. Having Gato at ringside with Connors, I think, is kind of like remotivating him when things start to happen throughout the match. Like if he takes a move improperly, having Gato kind of guide him has been very, very helpful, I think, to Clark Connors, and he's going to continue to be helpful to him through the rest of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely tremendous. Like, I think Gato's a good presence for him, but he hasn't been getting involved, and I appreciate that. Letting Connors do his thing. We didn't get a post-match beatdown by Connors here.
I mean, that would not have ended well for him in the long run, I think. And he knows that.
But he has beat people down after he's won, so.
But in the state that it's in right now, Bullet Club doesn't want the smoke of the United Empire. That is the most united team in NJPW. And then you have the kind of chaotic forming right now of Bullet Club. They don't have that unity. They don't have that brotherhood. They don't have that team ability yet. It was smart of him to not attack Akira.
Very, very much so. It was very smart of him not to do it because,
smart man Connors.
We won't go that far.
We move on.
Leo Rush versus Douki.
Douki.
Really fast start from these two. Leo getting the low pay, but Douki right back up, hits his own suicide dive. That beautiful swing around Northern Lights is so good. And then Leo catching him on the daybreak and hitting that fisherman driver.
Yeah.
I love the way he transitioned it and just so good. Leo gets a Spanish fly, goes for final hour, but Douki pulls the Douki Choki. The Douki Choki.
It's the Douki Choki, Kevin.
The Douki Choki. But Leo ends up flipping it over into a pin. Dragon suplex by Douki and tries the De La Luna move. I didn't write the first part of the
De La move.
De La Luna move. His suplex
De La Luna. Yeah.
Why I couldn't remember the word suplex, I don't understand. But
thought you had a tick there. De La Luna.
don't get me wrong. My brain resets every now and again. I get stuck on a word, but Leo fights it off twice into a roll up, but Douki gets the Douki Choki, and Leo picks up a stacked pin, but Douki readjusts it, gets out of the pin, tightens down that Douki Choki, and gets the submission win, handing Leo Rush's first loss of the tournament.
Yes. And couldn't have happened with a better guy. I mean, Douki has been on a roll this tournament, man. He's been having banger after banger after banger. This is no different.
Yeah, it was. I thought these two. This was one of the three matches I really noted in my notes. I think these two really, were one of the top matches of this show.
100%. Did you see the one Douki in the crowd?
No, I did not.
One Douki in the crowd.
Yeah, I really don't look at the crowd. They're not. I'm not interested in those people.
Yeah, I actually don't have anything else to add. You mentioned everything that I wrote down, so that's good.
Perfection. We move on to Yoshinobu Kanemaru versus Robbie Eagles with Kosei Fujita. It's that battle of the leg locks. It's battle of the tie-up leg moves. Absolutely. I think these two really had a good, strong wrestling match.
Yes.
Very, very good match. I know Eagles hits some top rope stuff. So does Kanemaru from time to time. But I thought these two had a really good back and forth on the mat with the technical work, both working knees. It absolutely phenomenal, man. I thought these two just killed it. That layback sharpshooter that Kanemaru has been doing. He starts with sharpshooter and then he lays down with it. I'm like, I like it. It doesn't seem effective in reality, but I like it.
It looks cool.
It looks really good. The tiger feint sweep in the when he takes somebody and Eagles takes somebody out in the corner with the tiger feint sweep in essentially a 619, but he's in the corner tripping somebody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then hits the balls to the face, as I always called it when
the double knee. Yeah.
The double knees in the corner. I can't remember who used to do that in WWE. He's in AEW now. Latino gentleman, married to Charlotte.
Andrade.
Andrade. I was never listening to a podcast, and they always call it
Is he
the
in
balls.
AEW? I thought he got booted.
He's there. I remember a podcast is you always used to call it the balls to the face when he'd do the double knees in the corner, and that's every time I see it now, it's like it's the balls to the face.
We call that a shotgun teabag.
Even better than shotgun. But he can't. But he hits the knees in the corner, but he ends up falling to the mat and can't do a follow up because he hurt his own knee that Kanemaru has been working on. I really liked that sell there. But in the end, though, Kanemaru blocks the enziguri. Eagles blocks the satellite DDT into a turbo backpack. Only gets 2 off a delayed cover. Then he stands up, hits that running enziguri, and he gets the win. Robbie Eagles really turning it up in this tournament.
But at what cost? His knee got freaking dissected in this one, man. It was picked apart by Kanemaru, and that's why he's the heel master, right? The one thing I wanted to add to this was the beginning spot where Kanemaru dodged out of the ring. He's wandering around the outside. Eagles was going to do his dive, and he pulls the Ichiban Sweet Boy in front of him, and poor Robbie Eagles ends up taking out Fujita on the ringside there instead of Kanemaru. I found that really funny. Ironic.
It was
I think
humorous.
we call that a cruel irony.
Yeah, it was humorous to see.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to add to this one.
All right, we move on to what I got to say is his best match on this show. These two, I thought these two were absolutely tremendous together. They both move quickly together. Like the karate style working with the lucha libre style, I think they flowed together so well. I really like hearing Kevin Knight on commentary here because he's familiar with Bailey from working together in Impact Wrestling. I thought the little bit of stuff saying he knows him from there and it's talking about a little bit of the relationship a little bit. I really did like that. Dude, they start the series of dodges and just each one trying to avoid what they're doing. Teton gets that head scissors to Bailey to the floor, and Teton misses that backflip dive to the floor, and Bailey just hits just running kick to the head, just smacks him, and you're just like, oh, yeah. I thought these two were just, dude. Bailey doing like a Vader bomb style double knees out of the corner, like I was just like. I've never seen him do it because I've seen him do the double knees in multiple ways. But I never saw that. I was just like, oh, that's cool. The chop exchanges from these two. Holy shit. These two just laid into each other. Bailey getting a little cocky in this match. I noticed. He's getting a little like walking like, after he was getting like getting the speedball kicks and the kick to the head. He's getting a little cocky, but Teton, some of the springboard high crosses he was doing, just absolutely phenomenal, man. Dude, Bailey missing the running shooting star press and Teton hitting that beautiful tornado DDT.
Yeah.
So good. Pele kick on the apron by Teton, but he misses the double stomp. Bailey sweeps him, gets the moonsault knees on the apron, but he ends up missing the ultimate weapon. And Teton the end of the match comes. Teton blocks the tornado kick into the corner. He goes up, but Bailey catches him, hits now Kevin said it, the flamingo driver onto Teton.
Yes, I did hear that.
And takes the win. They end up shaking hands after the match. Great sign of respect. But these two, I think, absolutely did phenomenal together.
I agree. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah. I didn't really take notes on any moves. I just kind of enjoyed because I knew it was going to be a fast match. I kind of felt it was a little bit comparable to like the high speed matches from Stardom, where it's like so much is kind of going on that I don't have the finger power to type it down so fast. The lucha style part in the beginning there too, I really, really enjoyed. I really enjoyed seeing Bailey keeping up with Teton. Teton is really, really fast, really quick with his moves. So it was really interesting to see someone almost outpace him at a few points. Yeah, I don't have a whole ton to add to this either.
Just the one you didn't take notes on?
No, I actually spotted which one it is.
Ah, okay.
It's not that I didn't take notes. I just got distracted.
All right, we move on. It's Dan Maloney from the United Empire, taking on Master Wato, the man I picked to win the entire thing. So I'm still not sure with this one. Maloney attacking before the bell to get it started. I thought both men had great reversals on each other.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to work together was really good. Maloney's chops, man, they've said it before, they're gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are loud. I never really noticed this before, but Wato's a big fan of the zigzag. Dolph Ziggler's move, the zigzag. He likes to use that a lot. I've seen it in multiple matches now, and I finally
He's
just
super
realized.
effective.
Yeah. Maloney, the extension on his drop kicks, like how he goes up and like the arc and the extension looks so good, man.
Mm-hmm.
Gore by Maloney, but Wato kicks out of 2. Wato slides out of the driller killer, goes for gets the sunset flip into the Vendaval. Maloney just barely getting to the ropes. Like he was working for it. Double hand chop into the enziguri by Maloney, but Wato ends up hitting a trouble in paradise, hits the half and half suplex, and gets the win. Master Wato keeping pointing. He's keeping my hopes alive for a Master Wato win of this tournament.
Yeah. Wow, man, he really stepped up in this match. I really felt that he really kind of fed everything back to Maloney that Maloney fed to him. Maloney definitely again came in very, very confident in this match. I think he thought it was going to be a lot easier than it ended up being. Wato's not a joke anymore. I mean, the blue hair is still questionable, but he did so good in this one. What I really also liked at the finish there was when Wato went for that German and tried to hold on. Maloney is, I don't know, his butt heavy. He fell over. He fell over, and Wato, super smart, instead of just trying to force the Pridge pin. What are you doing, jazz hands over there?
Just imitating
Wato,
you.
instead of forcing the pin, he just simply floated over, hooked the leg, and still made everything kind of work, even though it was like an imperfectly perfect kind of end to the match. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I very much did. I thought these two had a great match. So we get Kushida versus Taiji Ishimori. I'll admit, I wasn't a fan of this one. I thought they did a good job. It wasn't a bad match. I was really taken out of it. I don't know.
I feel the same way because this was the one that I forgot to take notes for.
Shit. Well, I got notes, but it's just
give it to us.
I don't know. I just wasn't a huge fan of them. They're like both of these men work together very well. They have a lot of history. They have history with each other, working together before Kushida left for WWE.
Yeah.
I thought they both really work the arm in this match. They're both each have their submission finisher for the arm. So a lot of work in the arm. Ishimori doing like the backstabber style move, but to the hammerlocked arm of Kushida. I really like that little variation there. But yeah, Kushida ended up getting the dirty move and pulling Ishimori's shoulder into the post on the floor. Yeah, just quite a good, like it's a good overall match between the two. I don't know. I just didn't have it. Again, it seems to be match 9 on every show. I'm just like, eh. But again, it's Kushida, I think, is my biggest. I haven't super enjoyed a lot that he's done in this tournament, personally. Kushida hitting a Sister Abigail in this match for 2.
I saw that too.
Or if you want to call it a Blade Runner if you want to call it, that he applies the bone lock to Ishimori. But Ishimori flips him into a pin, then gets to the La Mystica, and they each reverse each other, each trying for the bone lock. Ishimori hits the inverted Bloody Sunday for 2, and then Ishimori ends up turning a standing hoverboard lock into a bloody cross. The first time we've seen him successfully hit that in this tournament, and gets the win.
Yeah. Good for Ishimori.
Yeah, I'm really happy with Ishimori getting the win here. I think Kushida getting the win here would have really derailed some momentum for Ishimori. I think he needs to really be shown as a dominant presence in this tournament, which he has been.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, like Kushida at being the IWGP Tag Team Champion, that we're unfortunately not rooting for him right now.
I just wish they would have waited to Dominion to switch titles. I think it actually hurts the titles more by having Kushida taking all these off. Even though they're very hot fought, you have your champion being pinned so many times now that you're just like, ugh. Yeah.
That role he was on suddenly came to an end.
Yeah. So we move on to the main event of night 5. It's El Desperado versus Yo. Now, these two I thought had great chemistry together. Yo doing the backwards roll into the bow and mocking Desperado, starts slapping him on the top of the head. And this is where Despy just like, screw you, and just starts whipping his ass. Takes him to the floor, tosses him into the chairs, running him into the post. I thought these two had a really great chemistry throughout. Like, just like Yo's. Yo kicking Despy while he's like he broke the hold, and he lays back and he starts just like kicking him with his feet while he's laying on his back.
That's a Yo thing,
Yeah, just laying like just Despy kick Yo kicking Despy while laying like a child after he has to break the knee bar. Just like it was just Yo, and he's at one point where he's like rolling in and out of the ring while Despy's on the floor. It's just like a cocky little kid, just like rolling back and forth. It was so just like I love it. I love the little again. He's making me notice him. Like he's finally making me notice him, and that's the biggest thing I've had a problem with Yo was I never noticed him. But these two I thought did absolutely well. Yo really working on that knee, like really, because again, you take advantage of that of what's been done before, getting that calf slicer at one point, really working the knee over. Yeah, I thought Despy beautiful goes for the guitar on head, and but he ends up missing that frog splash, and that's where Yo turned it into the calf slicer, and you're just like, oh, get Yo hitting that Yoshigoroshi in this match. Yeah. Yeah, I thought Despy again really working towards that knee, fires up. They get into a huge strike battle. Yo gets the super kick, and they both just drop. They trade attempts for the direct drive and the pinche loco, and then Yo kisses Despy on the forehead. It was really weird, and then he hits a ripcord knee strike to Despy. I was like, ooh, and then he fires up, hits the direct drive, and Yo picks up a big old win right here.
3 Desperados in the crowd.
Ooh, 3 Despys?
3 Despys. 3 Despys.
Despys?
No.
Despys?
Yeah, to kind of expand upon what you were saying about Yo and his attitude, the overacting was actually a lot of fun of this one. It created a fun story out of nothing, which was really, really nice to have, because it after a while, each match, I think, feels just like a match. They created a story to create engagement, and it was a lot of fun. He really did play on Desperado's emotions. I think incensed would be the right word to describe how he was acting at some points.
I can
Not
agree
a
with
happy
that.
camper. Yo, yeah, like you mentioned, targeting the knee a lot in this. This was a lot of ton of submissions happening around the knee of Desperado there. There was a line that Kevin said. I can't even remember what was happening, but I ended up like almost choking on whatever it was I was drinking when he said it. Desperate times, Desperado measures. I cackled. It was amazing. That was a great line. Shout out Kevin for giving us that one. That was just perfection.
Kevin Kelly is just a treat to listen to.
He is. He's a treasure.
By himself, or if he has a partner, he's just a treat.
He really is. Yeah, the mind games that Yo has always been playing now, since this tournament has kind of started and what it's grown into. Where the hell has this been? You've been giving us boring yo for the last how many years? When you've had this in your pocket, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to be seeing it, though. The end of it, the handshake afterwards, where Desperado bites you like an angry dog. I absolutely loved it. It was such a great way to end the match.
Yeah. I thought these two had a great main event. Like I thought they really capped off a good night of professional wrestling. But we move on. Move on to night number 6 of the tournament. We kick it off with Douki
No.
versus tonight's guest commentator, Mike Bailey. I thought these two actually really kicked it off well in this match. They both just quick start. Bailey getting the speedball kicks. Boots ends up booting Douki off the apron, but Douki cuts him off from the top rope dive, takes control, gets the submissions going, really getting his working boots on. I thought both these guys just really work strong together. Douki stopping the tornado kick at one point, but he gets hit with just a sick super kick, but ends up reversing out a flamingo driver into the Douki chokey. But Bailey ends up tossing him and getting him out to the floor. He mounts him to pin him, but then he ends up taking them to the floor, and Bailey hits a beautiful springboard moonsault to the floor. Bailey misses the moonsault knees off the suplex to La Luna, and Douki hits a beautiful daybreak. Just put that was. Hey, she's back.
I don't know what happened. I was just listening.
That was the first time that has happened in a long time. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, but he hits that daybreak and just drops him on his head. Just looks so good. Douki tries suplex de la Luna, but gets rolled up for 2. Then Bailey hits that tornado kick into the corner, hits the ultimate weapon, and gets the big ol' win to go ahead as the points leader in his block.
I don't have a ton to add to this one. I just really enjoyed this one. I felt it was a phenomenal opener for these guys, and that both of them got to show off their skill evenly throughout this match. Really, really great opener.
Yeah, I thought both guys did absolutely tremendous there. Yeah. We move into what was a very, very fast match, but wasn't the fastest match of the night. They just start brawling at the start. Bushi gets the kneecap drop kick, hits the drop kick into the Busharuni off the top. Kanemaru, I wrote Nakamaru for some reason. Yeah, Nakamaru. Kanemaru goes for the Santori, gets the drink, goes for the Santori surprise, but gets hit with a lung blower, sprays it everywhere. Bushi then gets the drink, hits the Santori surprise onto Kanemaru, and hits the MX out of the corner and gets the win in like a little under 3 minutes, they were saying.
Yeah.
Very, very quick match here.
Just fun one.
Just enough time to let Bailey get changed quickly to get back up for commentary.
Yeah, that's true. 2 Bushis in the crowd. Both of them
3,
children.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14.
Child. 2. Yeah, you actually had you pretty much that MX that he hit on Kanemaru. Kanemaru saw that so good for him. So good. That was a beautiful MX to end off that match.
Absolutely tremendous. And I appreciate seeing these really fast matches sometimes.
Yeah.
I really do. And this wouldn't be the only one on this entire night either. Now, this was, I think, probably work rate match of the night because Taguchi put his, again, like the night before, he put his working boots on. He was ready to go. And I thought these two chain wrestled awesome. I thought these two, just the transitions they were doing, the wrestling they were doing together, I thought they both, Taguchi doing the handstands. I thought these two absolutely worked together so well. Gooch sending TJP to the floor, hits the baseball slide in the plancha. TJP ends up drop kicking the ass of Gooch as he comes off the springboard for the springboard hip attack. He ends up drop kicking the ass, hitting him right in the weak spot, you know.
Yeah.
I thought I love the way these two work together. I thought they did a really great job running hip attacks by Gucci in the middle. Then hits. I just I don't know. I've been very impressed these last two matches with Taguchi, and really, and it's picking up his work rate. And I know that he hasn't been doing it. It's just really seeing him turn it up with the fifth the night 5 and then here in night 6. Taguchi getting the bum IA, but only gets 2. They say Taguchi's in his 20th best of the Super Juniors here.
That's crazy.
With 74 wins, I didn't write down the losses or draws, but he's got 74 wins in 20 best of the Super Juniors. It's not bad. That's not bad numbers, actually. Tornado DDT and Mamba Splash by TJP, but Gooch kicks out, and TJP puts on the Pinoy stretch, but Gooch gets the ropes. They both end up trading hip attacks and holds until Gooch gets the ankle lock and the Dodon for 2, then right back into the ankle lock. TJP ends up fighting out of the ankle lock, puts back on the Pinoy stretch, and he gets the win.
I was gonna say, before the match started, when TJP came out, I had to pick my jaw up off the floor because gosh dang, he looked hot in the beanie with the emo hair. I was like, goodness gracious, bring emo back. Make it great again. Hot dang. Sorry to his wife. The back and forth with the ankle locks that you mentioned was just so tremendous. I really enjoyed seeing that just wrestling know-how between the two of these guys. Again, feeling really, really bad for Taguchi not picking up any wins right now. Just because with his history in the Super Juniors, I mean, this being his 20th, like, man, it kind of makes me sad. But then again, you know, Taguchi he's been in it for 20 years. So he's been in it a hot minute, so he might be winding down, as we've mentioned before, getting into that legend status kind of area. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a really, really fun match and great for TJP to pick up another couple points.
Yeah, I thought absolutely tremendous match. ECU. Again, the way they work together, I think it's the veteran experience from both. And how they work together, it makes it just absolutely tremendous, in my opinion. We move on to Dan Maloney. Right there. Taking on Kevin Knight. Great opening sequence. Knight getting that like where he kind of goes like this, and then hits the scoop slam. Like he just like swings him around a little bit before he scoop slams.
It's almost like he's rowing with him.
Yeah, but I like the little, just it gives us some flair. Gives him a little something special. You know what I mean? Just that.
Je ne sais quoi.
Bang! Yeah, I, as Mike Bailey would say, the je ne sais quoi, and then gets that running frog slash for 2. Maloney ends up catching that the pendulum DDT attempt, and just tosses Knight over the top to the floor, and he just goes crashing down and gets in just at 19. Maloney gets the PK hit and gets the body scissors on, and he's torquing it, and then him and Knight. Well, he's got the body scissors. Well, Maloney's got the body scissors. Proceed to have this chop battle while like laying on the mat. Like, absolutely tremendous. And both these, like, Kevin Knight could chop, man. Yeah. But dude, Maloney goes for the gore, but Knight drop kicks him to stop it, and it looks so good. So good. Fisherman Brainbuster by Maloney only gets 2. Knight ends up slipping out of the Driller Killer and hits Sky High. He then follows it up with the Pendulum DDT, and Knight picks up a big old win here.
Excuse
me. Sorry,
Something that I really enjoyed with the fisherman spot was Maloney went for the fisherman suplex, and Knight actually tried to counter it and go for the inside cradle. But Maloney, so strong, able to counter the counter and tell Mr. Knight, nay, nay, this way. And he still goes for that fisherman suplex. That was great. Such a test of strength there. Yeah, this one was a lot of fun. Very heavy hitting.
Yeah. So we move on to the stupidest match of the evening.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna go over this quick. This was dumb.
Please.
Show gets a mic. He pretty much says, "Let's just leave together," and they go up the ramp. The rest starts counting, and at like 10, Show starts running for the ring, but Evil holds on to Ishimori, but Ishimori breaks it and gets in at 19. Show like rolls to the floor, gets frustrated, throws his shirt at Evil and shoves him. Evil ends up going to the he goes to the corner of Ishimori for a little bit. Yeah, it just Evil gets up on the apron, pretends to throw in the towel for Ishimori, but he won't let him, and then Show rolls him up for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just stupid. The only good thing to come out of it was the La Mystica that Ishimori hit on Show. Otherwise, I hated this.
I don't know. I just didn't want to go too far into this. It was just. And then they all too sweet after and they leave together. Like, dude, they just screwed you. What? Dude, you shouldn't be too sweeting these guys. They're barely members of your team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if like you watched the whole thing. They too sweeted, and then Ishimori left, and then Evil and Show did their own little cigarette thing. Yeah, I haven't since they formed. Consider House of Torture part of Bullet Club. There's just no functional way that they're a part of this group.
Ishimori does, though, obviously.
Well, Ishimori needs to have his head checked, among other things, apparently.
We move on to Clark Connors versus El Desperado. These two. Then this was a power match. Like they were just smashing
100%.
into each other, fighting on the floor. Connor sending Despy to the floor, is beating up Desperado on the floor, just running him into chairs. That suplex on the floor had just a loud thud to it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I think this was my match of the night, to be
yeah,
honest. I
this
have
was
the most notes on this one.
honestly, this is. I might have to agree with you because there really wasn't anything else on this entire show outside of maybe the main event that did better than. I don't think the main event
Mhm.
did better. Like this was pretty goddamn spectacular.
Mhm.
Dude, there's one point like Desperado hits guitar on Hell, but it doesn't hit it quite properly. So he says, "Screw it," and he goes and hits the second one to get
Mhm.
it to hit it properly. Dude, but these two just beating the living shit out of each other, and then they each get a chair on the floor, and then they get into the chair battle. That
Mhm.
Carlos wins, and then he unloads on Desperado,
Mhm.
and the ref
Mhm.
does nothing.
It
And
seems like the rules are pretty loosey goosey during this tournament. Not gonna lie.
well, the thing is, they were both using a chair, so I can see why the ref would let it go because they were both using a chair to begin with. So, but yeah, that chair duel was fun. I always love seeing a good chair duel, but it just was a little too much. Then he ends up running him into the post.
Mhm.
Um, Connors ends up suplexing Desperado on a pile of chairs, but Desperado makes it back in at 19.
Mhm.
Beautiful snap power slam and the spear by Clark Connors. But he gets rolled up with the Escalera by Desperado, and Desperado pulls a win out of nowhere. Like he was, like I really didn't think he was winning it there. Connors then attacks Desperado. Young Lions come in to stop him. He kicks the shit out of them. Connors ends up placing Desperado on a chair, and he goes to spear him, but Desperado gets in the way. He hits the chair. Desperado gets Connors' head into the chair and cracks him in the top of the head with the chair. And yeah, that was it. It was great. These two, I think, for me,
Mhm.
like I think these two just their chemistry together was absolutely phenomenal.
You literally mentioned every freaking thing that I freaking noted. Every single thing.
I take a lot of notes. Okay, sorry.
The only thing I would add to this is my thought of it afterwards, which was this is the very definition of fuck around and find out. Clark Connors fucked around. He freaking found out. Desperado is he should have maybe made the Akira decision he made the night before and walked away. Now he might have to not only deal with a pissed off Desperado was not happy post match, and what happens if he goes and talks to Grandpa Suzuki. You don't want that smoke when you're that young, and like I mentioned, a very young, chaotic team right now. Finley's got his hands full dealing with other things right now with like ELP. You don't want ELP aligning with El Desperado and Minoru Suzuki. That's just going to be danger, Will Robinson, for all of Bullet Club, let alone Clark Connors.
Danger. But yeah. We move on. Leo Rush, Teton. Quick, fast start from both men. They have kicks. They're just coming out with kicks out of nowhere for both each other. Leo Rush gets the apron-assisted Rana on the floor, hits the Yasai moonsault, and then a low pay. Indian Deathlock by Teton, transition into a modified like in surfboard, but he's looking the other way while he's doing the surfboard.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. But Leo ends up pulls the knee bar out of it, and they Teton gets to the ropes. Teton stops the Rush Hour and hits the Teton Garoshi to the face, though. The inverted Teton Garoshi, and hits a beautiful thrust kick. Leo Rush hits Rush Hour, then hits the Spanish Fly, only gets two. Teton ends up cutting off a final hour frog splash, and then they end up fighting on the top rope. Leo headbutts him up, misses the final hour, and he gets his head almost knocked off with a super kick. And then Teton gets a top rope double stomp, and Leo onto Leo, and gets the win. That's 2 losses in a row for Leo Rush.
Yeah. Did you? Maybe I didn't notice it. I zoned out for a split second there. Did you mention the crazy lariat that Teton brought out again? The lariat to the outside.
No.
Yeah, bringing that out again for the first time in a bit. Really, really like that one. Always scares me, flying wildly somewhere past the ring post. But hey, Teton, he's the immortal.
Yeah.
Anything else? Fun. This was fun.
Fun match, not too long. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, very fast-paced, high energy. I liked it.
Now, talking about not too long, it's Yo versus Francesco Akira.
This man's going to have all kinds of problems.
Yeah, so Yo drop kicks before the bell. Yo sends him to the floor. He misses the plancha, gets hit by a suicide dive by Akira. They get back in the ring, and Akira goes for the fireball. Yo ducks it. Yo gets an O'Connor roll, and he gets a win in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed here.
Same.
I was really looking forward to what these two could do together.
Me too. Who took too much time? Maybe that Despy and Connors match took a little too much time. I don't know. But I was very disappointed with the length of this. I was expecting like a really, really fun, high-paced match, and then I got this.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a letdown.
I thought these two would have had an absolute barn burner, but we got what we got.
I think the next match could have been shorter in lieu of giving these guys a little bit more time, because the next one was a little bit of like a meh for me.
Dude, this is the only Kushida match on this entire tournament I think I can like look at and go, damn. Like, I thought these two did really well together. Again, it's that familiarity. Bailey at the start saying him and Kushida have wrestled each other in 4 different countries. Just recently in Japan, not too long ago in the UK, and Canada for Impact at a TV taping, or probably at a pay-per-view, one of the two. And then in the U.S. for Impact Wrestling.
Interesting.
Yeah, 4 different countries to work together in. I thought these two actually had a really good match. I thought Kushida did the best work he's done all tournament in this match. Beautiful cartwheel and drop kick by Kushida. I don't know. I don't know. I really did like these two together. Again, I haven't seen this match in 5 years, and I was very tired of this match 5 years ago. But they picked up from where they left off, and I wasn't bored by it, man. I thought they did a really good job. I didn't take a crazy amount of notes. I just really quite enjoyed this one. A great standing hoverboard lock by Kushida or by Kish, as I wrote.
Kish.
By Kish,
Okay.
I hit the I instead of the U. They're right beside each other on the keyboard.
Well, please explain Kanemaru.
Nakamaru? Nakamaru? I don't understand that one. I just don't. My brain sometimes I type shit out weird sometimes. Yeah. But Hiromu gets out, strikes Kushida, and they trade these hard strikes to each other's head. And Kushida hits this like crazy palm strike to the face of Kushida. And they end up fighting out to the floor. They brawl all over the building. I think that was probably the only part of the match I didn't care for was the brawl
Yeah, see, that's what
around.
I mean. If they didn't do that part, they took out that brawl, they could have put that extra time into the match beforehand. We could have had a reasonable match between Akira and Yo.
I don't disagree with that. They end up brawling out for a good few minutes. The ref doesn't count most of the time, and I'm just like, I was getting kind of annoyed. They brawl outside. They go outside, like to the actual
Outside, like
like
outside.
they end up fighting in the grass. Kushida gets a hoverboard lock on Hiromu in the grass. The ref's like, "You can't win out here." And then Hiromu ends up slamming Kushida into a bus. It's like a coach liner.
Yeah.
The ref starts counting eventually, and the both men get back in by 19. I kind of wish we would have had a double count out here. I think it just would have told a better story almost. You have each man only getting a point out of this. I
Yeah,
think it just would have told a little bit better story there. They each like let each other strike each other, then they just brawl. Hiromu ends up sending Kushida to the apron and tries the sunset bomb, but Kushida ends up stopping that and hits suicide dive to Hiromu. Hiromu catches a flying armbar as Kushida catches a flying armbar as Hiromu dives off the apron, and Hiromu picks him up and power bombs the shit out of him on the floor. And he gets back in, but Kushida cannot make it in before the count of 20, and Hiromu is declared your winner by count out.
Glorious chaos.
No, they weren't here.
No, they're not. They're not most places. Yeah, I didn't have a whole ton of notes on this one just because the outside part kind of made me lose interest. The in-ring part was great. But I definitely could have done without the outside part. I really felt Kushida was punishing the arm of Hiromu for this one, trying to make sure that he didn't have the strength to be able to pull off any of his moves. But lo and behold, Hiromu always finds a way to get those wins. And he didn't even need the arm in the end.
Nope, just have to use his legs.
Nope. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We move on. Main event in the evening. It's Master Wato versus Robbie Eagles with Kosei Fujita. Dang nabbit. If it wasn't for Despi's match, that's easily would have been match of the night. Like these two.
This was good, yeah.
I thought these two like worked so well together. Eagles getting that Ron Miller special right off the hop. Like first thing, Ron Miller special, but Wato ends up scrambling to the ropes and goes to the floor after the hole gets broken. Just the athleticism that these two have to reverse each other and like just move with each other. It's absolutely phenomenal. I don't know. These two I thought just worked so well together. I'm not gonna go through everything I wrote down, but Wato hitting a beautiful recitamente for 2, and then only gets 2 out of it, but transitions into the vendaval. But Robbie ends up rolling over and stacking him for 2, but then but Wato does get it reapplied, and Wato gets it reapplied, but Robbie ends up getting to the ropes. I don't know, I thought these two did so well. The striking exchange when they're both kneeling in front of each other, just smashing each other in the face, I thought was absolutely tremendous when they're just
Mhm.
forearming each other in the face. Um, and then they get up, they start kicking each other, and Eagles catches a huge kick and hits a DDT for 2. The TTD by Wato, but he takes a bit too long to get to the cover, and Eagles ends up kicking out. In the end, Eagles lands on his feet out of a German, and each unload kicks him. They're reversing each other for everything, but Wato ends up getting the bridging German suplex, and he gets the win.
What a fun match this was.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm trying to understand just the animosity that Robbie Eagles has towards Master Wato, and Mike Bailey and Kevin were trying to make sense of it on commentary as well. It doesn't really seem like there's a reasonable explanation as to why Robbie Eagles dislikes Master Wato so much, which is unfortunate because they probably could have worked pretty good together as a team, let alone, against each other. I did have a lot of fun with this one. I felt that the targeting of the knees for both these guys very, very smart. You got to take away their speed, especially Robbie Eagles. Once Robbie Eagles starts getting his speed up, there's really no stopping him. Whereas Wato, sometimes I don't want to say lacks the experience that Robbie has, but sometimes he gets a little, we'll say, overzealous.
Flustered.
Sure, flustered's probably the better word. He can't recover in the same way that Robbie Eagles can on the fly. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one, but I definitely enjoyed the Despi Connors.
Oh yeah,
one
I would
more.
put that. I would put this easily as the number 2 match of the night.
100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good, nice, big old point update, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna hold on for a second. I'm gonna take that away for a minute because I can do that. I'm magic. We started off the A block. You get Speedball Mike Bailey sitting alone in first with 10 points, 5-1. You have Leo Rush, Taiji Ishimori, Teton, TJP, and Hiromu Takahashi, all with 4 points, all 4-2. This is where I make the cutoff line because anybody below this line is not going to make it because you have Douki and Sho, each 2-4 with 4 points. Neither is going to be able to get the win of the tournament here. Kushida with 2 points, 1-5. He's out. And Taguchi, to me, is definitely out with 0 points. But again, to me, Douki and Sho, while not mathematically eliminated quite yet, they can only at most make 10 points. And they've big losses to people that are ahead of them. So there's no way they're going to take this tournament. That's at least how I look at it. And we move on to the B block. This is they've still got 7 people in this one instead of 6. You have Robbie Eagles, El Desperado, Yo, and Master Wato, all with 8 points, all at a 4-2 record. Then you have Francesco Akira, Clark Connors, and Kevin Knight, each with 6 points with a 3-3 record. Definitely not eliminated quite yet because that's a tight one. Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dan Maloney both are not mathematically eliminated yet, but they each only have 4 points with a 2-4 record. They have losses to people that are ahead of them right now. I just don't see a way for either of them to take this block. So I personally, this is premature, but I'm eliminating Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Dan Maloney along with Bushi, who only has a 1-5 record. Did you agree with that?
I'm gonna go with sure because we know how great I am at math.
Oh, you're a genius.
Right. What a way to end the shows, hey?
Yeah, absolutely tremendous night of 2 nights of professional wrestling, and we're going to be coming back with more because we have which are going to have 10 matches each. Nights 9 and 10, which will be A block and B block respectively, with some undercards on those shows. And then we have night 11, which will be the semifinals, where it's the winner of A block faces the runner up in B block, and the winner of B block faces the runner up of A block. And then finally, night 12 will have the Super Juniors finals. Could be an A block final, could be a B block versus B block final. We don't know yet. I'm looking forward to it.
We don't know.
It's all coming up. It's all coming up, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming up soon.
Very soon.
Very, very soon, hopefully.
Yeah. So we are going to get out of here because I have to go watch some more of the Super Juniors.
Yes,
and then eventually sleep, maybe for a few hours. Then get up, watch some more Super Juniors, then go to work. Because I still have to go to the shoot job. Yay! So much yay there. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can always be updated when we drop new content. And please, please, please comment down below because we love to hear from you. We love to talk professional wrestling. So please, please, please comment down below, ladies and gentlemen. Melba.
Yes. Sir. Yes.
This is where you usually talk.
Oh yeah, it's different every time, my guy. This is not where I usually talk. We just fly by the seat of our pants here. If you're wanting to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, we will leave a link in the description box below. It is NJPW-World.com. It is approximately 999 yen, or approximately $10 Canadian, which is actually a lie. It's more like 7. But we love Sean Spears here, so perfect 10. Come down there, sir. It's so exciting, I know. You also might want to check out, if you're not watching us on Andre Melball's Wrestling Talk, you can check us out, or you're probably checking us out on Mike's thing, Backbreaker Media. You do this bit, buddy.
I'll do it right now. You can check Mike out, our good buddy. He does all the great content he does over there at youtube.com/@backbreakervideo, where you might be watching us right now. Also check him out on twitch.tv/MikeTheRep. All his great live content. He does his watch along there and all the great game content he does. If you want to see replays of his great gaming content and more, at youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming, where you find Mike, PJC, and Rick Jules with all the great gaming content they're doing. And also over on Backbreaker Video, you can watch us. You can watch Astrid and Cody do their stuff there. All the great content Mike's putting out there. So please check that out, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Oh, and this coming Saturday, you can find myself and Mike the Ref on Backbreaker Video doing a preview show for the AEW Double or Nothing show that's coming up this coming Sunday. That if you are in the Edmonton area, or if you want to travel in, come down to Beercade, hang out with myself and Mike Maloney as we watch the pay-per-view together. So please come and hang out and watch pay-per-view with us.
And my friend, if they're wanting to follow you on social media, where are they going to find you?
You can find me Twitter, Mastodon, and Hive at That Canada Guy, Instagram at That Canada Dude, and you can find me at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk on Facebook.
Where else can they find you on the weekly schedule, my friend?
You can find me also over at OLE. I'm going to bring their information up right now, where you can find me doing Marvel Talk. We'll be back at the start of June with a review of Into the Spider-Verse, and then the weekend before Secret Invasion comes out, you can find me and OLED doing a very special edition of Marvel Talk. We're going to be talking some very special things on that show, so tune into that one. And also coming up, we'll be doing every week where we're going to be recording secret reviews of Secret Invasion. And because I work till 10 p.m. my time, 12 p.m. Ed's time, we're going to be recording that show at like 12:30 in the morning his time. He has said he's willing to do it that late at night. So it's what's going to happen, and you're going to be getting those at youtube.com/@our local establishment.
And while you're over at our local establishment, you can check out the Melball's paranormal show, Paramindful, that I do with Carl Carofel and the Alex the Werewolf there. Last episode there was all kind of about portals, gateways, and the haunted island of Poveglia in Venice, Italy. Don't want to miss out on that. You can also follow a Melball on her social medias at Twitter under Collins Melball, and you can catch her on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Mastodon at Melball Collins. You can also catch me on Ashley Pizarro's YouTube series, a Ladies Wrestling Showcase. We do that every couple of weeks. Our last episode, we chronicled the careers of Mercedes and Trinity since leaving the WWE. And on our next episode, we're going to be talking again briefly on the Medusa Trish Stratus angle, so you don't want to miss out on that. My friend, do we have anything else to say to the beautiful people?
I just want to say thank you very much. And please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment down below. We want to hear from you.
And that being said, everyone, I am your Melball. Over there is Andre. We will catch you next time. Adios.